Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky reaffirmed his country's diplomatic ties with the UK during a significant meeting with King Charles III at Sandringham. The visit came at a crucial time, just days after a tense and unproductive encounter with U.S. President and Vice President J.D. Vance in Washington, where negotiations over a mineral deal collapsed, and hopes for securing a security guarantee from the U.S. were dashed. Despite that setback, Zelensky found strong support in London, where Prime Minister Keir Starmer reinforced the UK's unwavering backing for Ukraine and emphasized the necessity of a united European stance against Russian aggression. The Ukrainian leader arrived at Sandringham via helicopter from Buckingham Palace, touching down in Norfolk for a private audience with the king. A royal source confirmed that Zelensky was warmly received, and their discussion lasted just under an hour. The meeting, which took place in the saloon at Sandringham House, was initiated at Zelensky's request and approved by the British government. It was a momentous occasion, reflecting both the deep ties between the two nations and the ongoing importance of Ukraine's diplomatic outreach. As world leaders from Europe, Canada, and Turkey convened to coordinate a response to Russia's continued hostility, Zelensky's UK visit signaled the significance of Western unity. His presence in Britain was met with honor and respect, sharply contrasting his reception in Washington. The White House meeting, where U.S. officials reportedly berated the Ukrainian president, had ended on a sour note, leaving critical negotiations in limbo. The failed discussions over a mineral agreement marked a major setback for U.S.-Ukraine relations, but Zelensky's visit to Britain suggested that Kyiv still had strong allies in Europe. During his London stop, Prime Minister Keir Starmer emphasized the importance of maintaining and strengthening support for Ukraine. Speaking outside Downing Street, he stated that the war had reached a decisive moment and that inaction would only prolong the conflict. 3 years on from Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine, we are at a turning point. Now is the time for us to unite in order to guarantee the best outcome for Ukraine, protect European security, and secure our collective future, Starmer declared. He also addressed the reality that not all nations are willing to join the so-called coalition of the willing, supporting Ukraine. While some countries remain hesitant, others have stepped forward, showing commitment to aiding Ukraine in its struggle against Russian aggression. A number of countries have indicated today that they want to be part of the plan we are developing. I'll leave them to make their own statements about exactly how they want to contribute. But we've been able to move that forward, Starmer added, acknowledging that each nation must determine its own course of action. While the broader geopolitical landscape remains complex, Zelensky's meeting with King Charles underscored the UK's continued solidarity with Ukraine. This was not the first time the two leaders had met. In July of the previous year, Zelensky had an audience with the king during the 4th European Political Community Summit at Blenheim Palace. At the time, he had expressed deep gratitude for the UK's steadfast support, calling Britain one of Ukraine's closest and most important allies. The latest meeting at Sandringham further reinforced this sentiment. It was a symbolic and strategic gesture, demonstrating that despite the wavering commitment of some nations, the UK remains resolute in backing Ukraine. The setting, a historic royal residence, only added to the gravity of the occasion. Sandringham House, with its deep-rooted connection to British heritage, served as a powerful backdrop for discussions that could shape the future of European security. As the war in Ukraine rages on, every diplomatic move carries significant weight. Zelensky's visit to the UK was more than just a routine political engagement. It was a bold statement of resilience and determination. In the face of international challenges, Ukraine continues to fight not only on the battlefield, but also on the diplomatic front, ensuring that its allies remain engaged and committed to the cause. Though tensions remain high and global alliances shift, one thing is clear: Zelensky's determination to secure continued support for Ukraine has not wavered. The reception he received in Britain stood in stark contrast to the hostility he faced in Washington, highlighting the differing approaches of Ukraine's allies. While some hesitate, others, like the UK, stand firm in their commitment to Ukraine's sovereignty and security.